Welcome back to the new virtual lesson of English 1, lesson number 1.4, The King's Choice. Students, yesterday we have gone through half the story. Let's give a quick recap. The lion and his courtiers, the fox, the leopard, and the vulture were enjoying their life with the Lion King. When one day the vulture suggested the king to have the camel meat. On his suggestion, the king and the courtiers agreed and followed the vulture from the lush green jungle to the desert to find the camel. But soon all of them were tired of the excessive heat and the lion decided to go back to the jungle. On this declaration of the king, the leopard wanted to run away alone to the jungle, while the vulture wanted to wait, let the lion die of the heat, and then enjoy the feast of his flesh. But the cunning fox thought of a brilliant plan and ran his way to find the camel. When he found the camel, he convinced him to meet the Lion King by telling him that now he was free, as his master was killed by the Lion King and had invited the camel to live at his court. Now, let's read the next part of the lesson. The camel followed the fox. When fox and the camel reached the lion's camp, the vulture and the leopard were surprised. Even the lion looked pleased, in spite of his burnt paws. The camel was presented to the king. He agreed to serve the lion in return for a home at his court. "Get on the camel's back, your majesty," said the fox. "We will return home." The lion at once jumped onto the camel's back. His courtiers, the fox and the leopard, jumped up behind him. And with the vulture flying ahead as a guide, they set off on the long journey back to the forest. When the travelers reached the forest, they were all tired and hungry. The fox, the leopard, and the vulture looked at the camel. Then they looked at each other and smiled hungry smiles. They had brought the camel for the king's dinner. Now it was time for the feast. The Lion King knew what his courtiers were thinking. He called the camel to help. He called the camel to him. "Friend camel," he said, "I have to thank you for saving my life. You are welcome to live at my court as long as you like. I promise you my protection." The lion's courtiers were shocked. Had they not risked their lives so that he could try camel meat? And the king wanted to let the camel live? The courtiers were not pleased with this decision. Yet they could do nothing. Now the lion's paws were so badly burnt that he could not go hunting. But that did not keep him from growing very hungry indeed. "Fox, leopard, vulture," he shouted. How did he shout? "Fox, leopard, vulture," he shouted. "Don't you see that I am ill and hungry? Go and get me some food." The courtiers had to obey the king. So out they went, but they did not go far. They sat down in a safe place and discussed what they could do. "I know," said the fox after a while. "We shall make the camel ask to be eaten." He told the others of his plan. They all agreed. So back they went to the king. First, the vulture stepped forward. "Your Majesty," he said, bowing low, "we have found no food, but we cannot let your Majesty suffer. I am a poor creature. Eat me." The fox pushed the vulture aside. "I have more meat on me," he cried. "Eat me, your Majesty." Now the leopard rushed forward. "I am not much good," he cried, "but I could make a meal for the king." The camel listened to all these offers. He must do as much, he thought. "Your Majesty," he said, "I too am willing to give my life for you. Please eat me instead of these old friends of yours, who will be more useful than I am." This was what the fox, the leopard, and the vulture were waiting for. They prepared to jump at the camel, but the lion stopped them. You are all good and loyal subjects, he said. My heart is touched by your offers. I were shocked. Away flew the vulture, away ran the fox and the leopard. They were never seen in the forest again. The lion laughed to see them go. Then he turned to the camel and said, You have been loyal and good. You shall be my friend as long as we are alive. The camel was happy and grateful. The lion thought to himself, To be king is good, but to be kind is better. By Shankar from the book Folk Tales Retold. You see, children, the camel then went in front of the Lion King and the agreed to serve the Lion King in return for a home at his court. As soon as he agreed, the fox was happy that he was successful. He immediately told the lion to jump on the camel's back. Soon, behind him, the other courtiers also jumped upon the camel's back and returned to the jungle hungry. Finally, all the courtiers realized that they had brought the camel to the court and now was the time to enjoy the feast. But to their surprise, the Lion King called the camel his friend and promised him protection. Then the lion ordered his courtiers to go and hunt for him, as he was ill and his paws were burnt. His courtiers were shocked and did not like his decision, but off they went and soon returned, deciding of a plan of the camel to be eaten. One by one, the courtiers said that as they could not find the food, they wanted to present themselves to the king. Seeing them, the camel too did the same thing. The king too was wise and was aware of what were his courtiers up to. They wanted to kill the camel and eat. He calmly said, I accept your offers and will eat you one by one. Hearing this, the vulture flew away, the fox and the leopard ran away, never to be seen in the forest again. The lion laughed as he had expected the same and promised the camel to be his friend all his life, which made the camel happy and grateful. The lion thought at the end, To be king is good, but to be kind is better. So, children, I hope you understood the lesson. Now, let's go and see some of the meanings that we have come across in this lesson. First one, fierce, which we have come across in the first video also. Angry and aggressive. A king's court. This is a term that describes a king's council and household. The king would have wise men advisers and helpers in his court from whom he would seek advice. Swift of foot. This is a phrase, children, very quick in moving and running. Then bodyguard, a person employed to protect somebody. This we have come across in the first video also. Oath of loyalty, a formal promise to be loyal to somebody or something. And the last one is opposed or disagreed with. I hope you enjoyed today's virtual lesson. Thank you very much. This is your teacher Dipti Kamalwar signing off. Let's meet in the next session. Goodbye till then, children.